For this lesson, we are going to read our vocabulary reader. Vocabulary readers help us practice our sight words that we have our test for on Friday. And this one's called Grandpa. Here's a grandpa. What's he doing with his granddaughter? Looks like he's swinging. He's helping push her on the swing. She's swinging. He's helping to push her on the swing. And this is how the back of this book looks. So let's go ahead and practice our sight words. 2, 4, he, look, have, what. Okay, so let's go ahead and look in here, see what we see. What? There's a different picture of a grandpa and his grandson, and they're doing something different. It looks like they're eating in this picture, and it's still called Grandpa, just a different grandpa, I guess. So what are the girl and her grandpa doing in this picture? They're just smiling for the camera, it looks like. And it says, look what a grandpa can do. So let's look at this photo. This photo gives us information about what we're going to read down here. So this girl, she's saying, he can push a swing for me. And this grandson is saying, he can splash with me. And over here, looks like they're running on the beach, aren't they? He can run with me. I just knew that these words were going to say something about run because I looked at the picture. Okay, what are they doing here? They're playing a game. That's called chess. He can play with me. Over here. What? He can write with me. That's right. Grandpas and grandmas can help you if you're doing your homework and you ask them how to spell a word. They'll tell you. What are they doing on this page? They're reading. He can read with me, too. Do you know what I notice about this book? I notice how it has almost all the same words on most of the pages. For example, not this page, but over here it says, he can push a swing for me. And then all the rest of them start with he can. He can cook with me. He can have soup with me. This is like a pattern book. He can splash with me. He can run with me. Do you see the pattern? He can play with me. He can write with me. And finally it says, he can read with me too. So I want you to read it now, and I'll help you. I want you to read it softly, and I want you to put your fingers underneath the words. And when you're trying to blend a word, the first thing you do is look at the first letter and make that sound. And sometimes you'll already know the word, but when you get to a word you don't know, you always start by sounding out the first letter and then the next one and the next one. Okay? All right. Let's read with our soft voices. Make sure our fingers do the job that they're supposed to do of pointing at the words. Ready? Read. Look what a grandpa can do. He can push a, what is that one saying? Now look at the picture. Starts with an S. That says S. He can push a swing for me. He can, now look at the picture. First letter makes a K sound. He can cook with me. He can have soup with me. I'm so good at looking at the pictures and then sounding out the first sound of the word I don't know and guessing. Sometimes it just takes that much and you'll know the word. Soft voices. He can, what is that right there? Splash with me. He can run with me. He can play with me. He can write with me. This word write, we haven't learned this yet, but when there's a W in front of an R, a worm in front of a rooster, that worm is silent. That W is silent. It does not want the rooster, to know he's there, because you can only imagine what a rooster might do to a worm if it was right next to him. He can write with me. He can read with me too. Okay, I invite you to read this book without the volume on after I ask this question. What can grandpas do? If you forgot what they can do in this story, just look at the pictures. You'd learn so much by looking at the pictures. You could say, a grandpa can swing, a grandpa can cook, a grandpa can have soup, a grandpa can splash, a grandpa can run, a grandpa can play, a grandpa can write, a grandpa can read. Okay. Now we're going to read our sight words one last time. Let me zoom it in. Okay, ready? And read. For, have, he, look, to, what? Good job. See you next time.